Hey YouTube, Logan with Hideaway Homestead here, coming to you today with a video on mulberry again. I think one of the hens are laying an egg if you hear the clucking in the background. I wanted to talk a little bit today about harvesting mulberries. Now this tree is extremely tall and has a lot of high branches, so there's a lot of fruit up there that we really can't get to unless you climb up into the tree and pick it. That's why if you're going to have fruit trees, like specifically for you to pick fruit, I would really suggest that you keep them coppiced or pollarded at a low height, so that way you can really get to the branches easy. But we could come through here if we wanted to and just reach up and pick the berries individually, but that takes a really long time if you're gonna get a bunch. And these things are so good, they're like tater chips. You can't eat just one. So I'm gonna show you a method to get just bukus of these berries, because there are just thousands on here a season. So you really wanna take advantage of all the berries you can get. So let's get right into it, and I'll show you what my method is for picking all these mulberries without having to go through and pick them one at a time. All right, so here's the secret. We have a 15 foot by 19 foot tarp here. Now this is gonna go on the temporary duck enclosure, but I had it, and it's a big tarp, so I wanted to use it. You can use any size, but I just recommend getting the biggest, cheapest tarp you possibly can. Get the blue tarps that are like 4 mil. They're a lot cheaper. And you can get a really, really big one, especially depending on the size of your tree. Now, if you were to come through here and pollard your mulberries and allow these to grow and then put on fruit, you'd be able to get to the branches a lot easier, and you could gather from a smaller area. So this here is for gathering from a large area, a really large area. So I've put it under the branch that I'm gonna shake. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna climb up into this tree and I'm gonna shake this branch, and that will make all the perfectly ripe mulberries here drop onto the tarp. Now, you will get maybe about 95% perfectly ripe, and then maybe about 5% really not that ripe. And so you might have some red ones that fall off, but it's really just gonna be 1 or 2. I don't even know if it's really 95, or if it's really like 5%. It's probably less than that. But we're gonna shake these off. I'm gonna climb up in the tree, and I'll have the video recording of them falling on the tarp. So let me get up in the tree. All right, maybe the chicken in the video is not going to get on too many people's nerves. She just laid, or is about to lay, and just keeps going nuts. So pretty good tarp placement here. Didn't miss any berries, I don't think, really. None on this side, none around here. Caught everything except for just a few that's laying up in there. And then, as you can see, we got a ton of berries here. Yeah, as you can see, there's some red ones too that fell off. You know, that's gonna happen. You'll just have to pick through them. And then there was some that fell on the ground here, which they're not quite dirty. So I'm gonna eat them. That one had just a little bit of grit in it from the ground, but you'll get a little bit of sticks too. So that's gonna come through the sorting process. God, that's good. But what I'm gonna do now is just lift up the edges of the tarp and focus them all towards the center, and that way I can move the tarp to the next limb. Oh, there comes the wind. And I can then move it to the next spot and get up on the next limb and knock some more berries down. So let's focus this all into the center and go get the rest of the tree. All right, it's starting to sprinkle some, but underneath this mulberry tree, not a lot of water gets to the ground. So hopefully I'll be able to do the rest of this video without it raining on me. I'm gonna try to sit on this to not get my britches stained with mulberry juice. I really recommend, if you plant the mulberry trees, to keep them pruned to where you can get those main branches and grab hold of them to shake them down low. Try to prune everything, have it come out like this at a very low height, because getting up in the tree is not fun. Well, I think as a teenager you have fun climbing up trees and climbing down trees, but for me it is fun climbing up. It is not fun climbing down. So a little bit of a workout, but we're gonna see what we get. So you get some sticks that go in along with it sometimes. These are planted, this one individual's planted underneath the pecan tree. So you just come through and you pick that stuff out. And here I've got a half-gallon jar that we're gonna fill up and see how much we get from just one harvest. But I'm gonna get up and come closer to the camera. So in each individual it's gonna be different, but with these, they're almost black when they're ripe. I mean, it's a very, very dark red. Some of your different varieties, depending on what you got, will have ripe white berries. Some of them will have ripe red and black and everything in between. So we're gonna pick through these, and if you'll notice, this species here and variety, which I don't know if there is one that doesn't do it, but their stems cling to them. I'm gonna tell you, if you can get past it being a stem, you really don't even notice it. They are so good. I just eat them with the stems. If we make juice out of them, guess what? Stems are going in there. Whatever we do, stems are just gonna be part of it. Going through and doing, I mean, you can't even do it without destroying the berry. Picking out all those, it's not worth it. God, that's so good. But I'm just gonna come through here and pick out all these that are the brighter reds. I'm probably just gonna set them aside and give them to the Muscovies. I'm sure they'll eat them and they'll be fine. You're supposed to be able to hallucinate if you eat a bunch of unripe mulberries. I've never eaten a bunch, but I've ate unripe ones, and I've never experienced that. And I've heard other people that say that it's just a myth because they've really tried. So it's something, I think that's just a myth that you can get high off of unripe mulberries. So let's see here. Dropped a leaf in there. But yeah, this here's a bunch of them. I'm gonna go through and pick through, and I'll come back to you when we find out how many I've got. Get that red one out. All right, so we're done with the harvest there. Grab my jars. So it's really more like a tenth of the mulberries that were unripe, or maybe even a quarter of the mulberries that were unripe that fell. But the thing about that is it's so easy, and they don't go to waste. Wildlife will eat them. I'm actually going to take mine and give them to the little Muscovy ducks we got. I'm sure they'll enjoy them. But we got 3 quarts here, full half-gallon, and then that right there's 2 pints. So 3 quarts of mulberries from that one harvest, and from a mature tree now. But I really think if you were to do this every day, you would probably get something like maybe just a quart, maybe a half-gallon from a large mature tree, one that's 15, 20 years old. But this here, I think, is probably for this tree maybe every 2 to 3 days. You can see my hands are still stained from picking through the berries, but just a huge amount of fruit. You could do this for 2 or 3 days. This is in the shade, and so they only produce for about a month, maybe a month and a half, starting at June in our climate, June until July. and maybe like the first 2 weeks of July. But as soon as they ripen in June, you could come out here every 2 or 3 days and get a large quantity like this, and just a huge amount of fruit. Like I said, with the stuff that's not ripe quite, still a little firm, you can give that to your livestock. They'll eat it, love it, just like they do the leaves. Some of your livestock anyway, but it's just an amazing tree. This half gallon right here, we're probably going to freeze it. We've got some friends that are going to freeze dry for us some mulberries, so I'm going to keep gathering and getting as much as I can to put up and freeze dry and have some frozen to be able to thaw and make stuff out of. This right here, I'm actually going to experiment some. I've never had mulberry juice, but I'm going to make some juice out of this to try and see how it tastes. So really looking forward to that, because these berries are so delicious. I cannot imagine how delicious the juice is going to be. But that's pretty much it for the video. Easy, simple way to gather a lot of mulberries without having to go through and pick them one at a time. So if this video was helpful, if you liked the video, please leave a like. Share this video with other people. I think it would help to get people to go out and get the abundance that there is out in the wild. Mulberry trees are everywhere. Subscribe to the channel and ring the notification bell for more videos like this, and we'll see you in the next one. Thanks for watching.